So Joe Biden is our leader right now, while Russia is threatening to maybe use some nukes. And apparently at a press conference or something, he was searching for Jackie. He was going, where's Jackie? The trick is Jackie passed away. She's not here with us anymore. I think she was a congresswoman who passed away. So he's in a good place. I just don't know if we're in a good place. You know, if you're seeing ghosts or remembering, what do they say when you're on your deathbed? What happens is you start to see relatives.
Your mother.
And people, you start to see your mother. If we start watching a press conference by Joey B and he just starts going, Ma, come on, man. Ma. Get off the tide. You know, he's always the tide is high, Ma. If he starts having visuals of the Delaware shore and his ma calling him in for crab legs, we may have a problemo. It's just funny. It just adds to the comedy that this is probably the most precarious time as far as the potential for a nuclear war, and Joey Biden is positioned. You know, for previous times, we've had JFK Jr., smart guy. I mean, all right. His dad was the original guy to steal the election and use the mafia to help him steal the election. He was Irish Catholic. He liked to fuck everyone's wife. But you know what? He was a smart guy. And we had him during the Cuban Missile Crisis. At least he was a competent guy, right? At least he knew Jackie was dead. At least he knew people who was alive and who was dead. Mm-hmm. Then in World War II, right, we had FDR. And then we had Truman, right? Who was a little squeak, maybe a little Napoleon complex, who dropped a couple of, as my old podcast would say, turned on the microwave. Just a little throwback. Shout out Chrissy. Dropped a couple of, you know, on the Japanese. But somebody was behind the wheel. World War I, Woodrow Wilson. Was it Woodrow Wilson? FDR? It was Woodrow Wilson, FDR. I'm hedging my bets. If I was betting on that, I would say, give me a number between FDR and Truman. Who was it? Woodrow. It was Woody Wilson. It's great. He's the president who has the name that we also use for when your dick gets erect. I got a Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson. Jared Harvin in the building. Jesse Scaturo back from his espionage missions in Scotland. Do you have Havana syndrome?
I hope not.
That's a scary thing. We get a ringing in your ear. I get that when I bust a hard nut. I get a ringing in my ear. And we covered that, I think, on the Patreon, patreon.com/Yanni LongDays. Mm-hmm. You got to go check out those episodes every week. Those are some of our funnest episodes. So go join up. $5 a month. You get the video or the audio. Become a subscriber to the show and get 2 episodes a week. One on the house. It's like being a bartender. You get one in the house and then a buyback. You pay for one, we give you one. Okay, it's a good Irish pub. Did you do a lot of drinking when you were there?
A lot of drinking, a lot of bad eating. The food is horrible there.
Yeah, they just throw it in the fryer.
Yeah.
They just throw everything in the fryer and they give you fish and chips. Would you like fish and chips for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? And you're like, no, but I've looked at the menu and it's either that or blood pudding. So I'll take the frozen fried fish. So, yeah, we've had people behind the wheel. Joey B, you never know. He could maybe have that like Austin Powers luck, where like he's not trying to do the right thing, but he ends up doing the right thing, you know? Or Peter Sellers, the Pink Panther. I mean, might as well have the Pink Panther right there now. I mean, you know, at this point, his brain's in a wheelchair. They just came out with some sort of Alzheimer's drug that they say slows it, right? So that's also in the news. There's some drug that slows it, and I think that his staff and the people in government did an Operation Warp Speed on that. They did a warp speed on that. What was Trump's vaccine program called? Operation Warp Speed. Yeah, I think they did we need that pronto, dog.
Yeah, he's going to mainline that.
They were like, let's skip the trials and make him the trial. I mean, it's pretty funny, the video where he's searching for Jackie. He's just hallucinating. And then when the reporter asks the press secretary, what's her name?
Jean Pierre, something like that.
Yeah, Jean Pierre.
Some Haitian.
Yeah, when he asked her, she gave a really good what happened was. Yeah. It was a really good. She was like, well, he's a fan. He's a fan. He was saying he's a fan of her. He was a fan of her. He's just a big fan of what she stood for and who she was.
Give him a nice little runaround.
Yeah, just give her the little runaround. That job, dude. I mean, who wants that job?
Nobody.
Were you just taking everything on the chin? In a representative democracy or whatever, we're a republic, right? Sort of a democracy. I mean, half the people are just always going to hate you. And then the people who you have to be accountable to, they're your boss. In theory. So you just got to take all the fire and you just throw this woman up in front and she just takes it. She's just, their job is to just spin everything. They can't answer anything honestly when it's bad. And when it's good, they just go for it. They really lean in. They go, hey, look, sometimes I like when they get asked a hard question like that and they just go straight to the employment numbers. They go, hey, what was he talking about when he was looking for Congresswoman Jackie? Like, isn't she dead? He goes, and she just goes, employment is looking real good right now. And we've sent a message to the gas companies that during the hurricane, not to spike these gas prices. And we've also played hardball with Putin. You're like, that is not the answer to my question. And she goes, cut me some slack. It's my fucking job. You want me to answer the question? I can't. I literally can't answer the question or I'll be fired. The job interview for that job must be really funny where they just ask her a tough question. They go, what's 2 + 2? And she's got to go, well, look, it could possibly be 7 if you think about it a certain way. And they just like the way and they go, we like this chick. We like her. She kind of made me believe it could be 7 because that's essentially her job, right? Is just to lie. And everyone knows. It's a funny thing because everyone knows it. She knows it. What is the point of it? It's like a ceremony.
You're political David Blaine.
It's like trying to have an argument with your wife. You can't. There's no winning. You're not going to get a straight answer.
Yeah.
She's just going to go, yeah, but remember what you said? Remember what you said 4 years ago? I know. Well, yeah. Remember when I saw that text? How about that? And you're going, that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about. It has nothing to do with the fact why you leave your straightening iron in the sink every time you straighten your hair. And then I come in to wash my fucking hands and you use the sink as a shelf for your straightener. And then she'll go, but what about that text from 1996? And you go, why don't you be White House press secretary?
Yeah.
Any woman could really do that job. You notice how they always have a woman? Because you guys are good at lying in addition to not being able to give a straight answer because of the whole smaller brain thing. That always gets in the way.
They make this country sleep on the couch every night.
They basically do.